The will is what affords them that opportunity, because otherwise, unfortunately, I think I mentioned to you that happens all the time. I have a case like it right now. People fight when they see dollars and cents. It's just the unfortunate reality. People see it, they kind of forget who they are, and they kind of fight. They just want what they don't have and what they can. So when you have a will, you make it as clear as day what you want to have, how you want your wishes to be respected. And the will is that beautiful document that ties everything together. It prevents squabbling. It tells your family, listen, this is what I have, this is how I want it to go. And that's kind of how you arrange it to be distributed.
Hi, guys. My name is Andy Mizrahi. Welcome to Digital Domination for Lawyers podcast. Today, I'm so excited to be introducing my first guest, Adam Cohler of Cohler Law Firm. So, first of all, thanks for joining us today, Adam.
It's a pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. I don't do podcasts that often, so you never know.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So first of all, some things we're gonna be talking about today is how'd you get to where you are, with like challenges you faced and stuff like that, and what do you do? So first, tell us, what do you guys do? What kind of law firm are you?
That's a great question. So we do primarily, at least I do, estate planning. So wills, trust, power of attorney, and healthcare directives plus kind of medical powers of attorney. The benefit that we do, because we're small, it's my mother and I. That's it. We got nobody else. We like to cater our documents to the client, very client oriented. So it's just a great way to have it exactly how you want it, how you as the client want it, rather than using a stock kind of template and saying, well, now we need to fit it to you. Or I should say you fit to the template. We're now saying, how do we fit this document to you? So that's kind of what we do at a 10,000-foot level, so to speak.
How'd you get to where you are? Like, where were you before this? Give me your superhero origin story.
A superhero, but before this, I was a public defender for the state of New Jersey for 2 years. So basically, I represented those that are considered indigent. They couldn't pay for their own and afford their own attorney, but were entitled to one nonetheless. So that's where I was for 2 years. It's a demanding job. Unfortunately, I didn't have much of a work-life balance. It was just work balance, and how did I kind of navigate it? So for 2 years, kind of tough, and I decided I wanted to make a change, and that's kind of why I joined forces with my mother at Cohler Law, and we established Cohler Law Firm. But I knew that I still wanted to help people, because that's why I went into public service, to help people, because they couldn't afford their own attorney, but I wanted to make sure that they had good representation. I'm just kind of doing that in a different way.
I remember when we spoke briefly before this, you said that your dad did something and your mom did something, and you're somehow combining those powers. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a good memory you got there, Andy. I like that. So I do estate planning on the legal side. My father's a financial advisor, so I also do financial planning and financial advising. And I think it's a good fit between estate planning and financial planning, because it's how do you get to the legacy that you want to leave, and then how do you actually leave it behind? So I think it's a good fit that those two kind of areas of our lives kind of intersect, because we all go through it. We all want to leave a legacy, and then how do we get to building ourselves up so that we can have.
I love that you say legacy. Like, we're talking about wills here. When you think about a will, mostly it just paperwork that you write down and then they figure it out and that's it. But you're saying like legacy that you're leaving. How is that a legacy?
Yeah,
Can you touch on that?
that's great. I mean, candidly, when I was at the public defender, I told my mom, before I kind of had this struggle for the 2 years, I'll never do what you do. It's just boring. It's paperwork. And she's like, nah, if you gave it a chance, you might actually like it. And I didn't know why, but you know, I get to meet people who have these goals, and I get to help them attain those goals and how they want to leave things behind. So, you have some money, you have a house, you have a shore house that you want to make sure your kids use, that your grandkids use for generations to come. The will is what affords them that opportunity, because otherwise, unfortunately, I think I mentioned to you that happens all the time. I have a case like it right now. People fight when they see dollars and cents. It's just the unfortunate reality. People see it, they kind of forget who they are, and they kind of fight. They just want what they don't have and what they can. So when you have a will, you make it as clear as day what you want to have, how you want your wishes to be respected, and the will is that beautiful document that ties everything together. It prevents squabbling. It tells your family, listen, this is what I have, this is how I want it to go, and that's kind of how you arrange it to be distributed.
And you said like it's like the way you want to be remembered, right? This is how you will be remembered, not can you like how you don't want to be remembered versus how you do want to be remembered. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, the will lays out, you can lay out in your will kind of your value, how you want to be remembered, kind of things that are important to you. You can donate to charity in your will. You can make specific bequests to certain places in your will. And I think the best way to leave a legacy is through the will because it, again, prevents family members who love each other from forgetting who they are, fighting over dollars and cents, a bookshelf that their mom had just because they want to get one up on their family members. When you have a will, you leave exactly what you want to leave to exactly you want it to leave. So I think it's
Right, because it could be instead of just like thinking about, someone just passed away, your loved one, and then instead of thinking about, oh, how beautiful this person was and what a life, it's like thinking about all the wrong things, like, oh, I get his watch. It's like,
it takes
whoa,
away.
whoa.
It takes away from one being able to mourn and remember and have those good memories because now we're fighting and squabbling over pieces of so yeah, leave will just avoids that completely and thank you. My grandmother left me this so that my kids can go to college. And now, they have really helped me in my future. So, you know, dad had this on his property. He didn't leave a will. I want it. I'm gonna take you to court. And then unfortunately, when you go to court and you fight, you drain the state. The beneficiaries lose out on much of what they were entitled to because now it's going to your fees. And as a lawyer, we have that sense of, oh, I want that. I want to drain, let me dollars and cents, money, money. No, I mean, me as an attorney, that's not. I want to save a state, these, beneficiaries to reap the benefits of what their loved ones grew throughout their lives. Why take away from them?
Totally. So it's beautiful, really. Like, you think it again, like it just no, it is. It's like you think it's just like this again, paperwork stuff that like, yeah, just a will, but it's really something meaningful and, can mean, instead of fighting over something for years and a mess, like I have a friend, like an older friend, and he's telling me that like dealing with things for years, like a decade of dealing and untangling what did it really mean? Which bank account did it go to? And this country and that brother. And it was like, and they just want to like move on and say, thank you, I love you, you're great for
Right. That's exactly right. I have a case just like that. It's been 3 years. The person had one house. It was like 100 grand, and between lawyers' fees and whatever, that house is going to deteriorate. The house is going to be sold, but now that 150 is going to be split in maybe a quarter. They'll get that at the end of the day. It's just not worth it. That's not what the person had the house for. They wanted you to live in it, and now you're going to have to sell it just to pay these attorney's fees. It's
Ugh.
it's ugly.
You're here to save the day
Wow.
with your
You're making me blush,
superhero
man. Come
backstory.
on, man.
You have the dark past. No, you
Yeah, I could.
fight.
I did.
That's cool, man. All right. So, what challenge do you face in your field?
Yeah, I mean that's a great. I think that's it. It's people have this what estate plan and it's paperwork. It's I the amount of times I've heard someone say when you sign, oh, I'm signing my life away. It's like, oh, you're telling your family what you want your legacy to be. Want them to have these pieces of property, family bloom, a necklace, a wedding band. You give that to a specific person. It is about. So my trouble that I've encountered since I've been doing this about a year is simplification, making it so I avoid the legalese that lead words that nobody understands, like fiduciary is one. So I try to avoid these tough words that make no it mean because really it's just I have a legal duty to you to do what you want me to do. That's what fiduciary is essentially. Boil it down to super simple so that people can understand it. So that's a trouble is trying to keep things simple, keep it simple, stupid, as Dwight Schrute said that Michael Scott in The Office told him, "Kiss, keep it simple, stupid." That's what I live my life.
Fiduciary is such a big word. I think I don't. Have you ever seen I don't remember the last time you've seen Mary Poppins. I saw it last like year or two. Right. Yeah, I know. So there's a whole scene in the end with the bunch of the bankers trying to convince the little boy to not keep his money to feed the birds, but to put it in a bank. And one of the yeah, and then one of the words was fiduciary. And I remembered that, so I was
That's
like, yeah,
hilarious.
it's a good word that
It
we don't
is. It's like
we don't know
it means nothing to anybody.
what it means fiduciary. I'm gonna start using it from now on whenever I don't want the kids to know what I'm talking about.
It makes you sound a
Fiduciary.
lot smarter. Very good.
Fiduciary. I
That's
know.
dude. Lawyers just
Uh,
love to talk. We like to sound smart.
Yeah, it's funny how we think big words make us sound smarter and like, oh, this big fancy word, and it's really the opposite.
It
So,
just wastes time. It's
yeah,
like, why do you have to say that when you could have just said normal? Normal.
beautiful. It's really like a beautiful cause. It's not just you think of these lawyers, it's like sometimes like, oh, that slippery lawyer trying to get one
Make
over. It's like, no, this is yeah. It's like that's the old school way. No, it's really about like helping people. It's funny, thing about business is the more honest you are, you sell better, then you're doing a
it,
good job for
honest,
them, and then they tell their friends.
and you
It's
feel
all the same.
better. And I just feel like how I do business is I'm not trying to charge the most to people. I do business how I kind of interact with people. I'm not looking to kill professional relationship. Um, and if you give me a referral or you're happy and you come back for something else, great. If not, that's okay. I mean, it's a good relationship. I try to do.
So, and that's like the biggest obstacle. So, what have you done to overcome this? Like, what kind of things?
Yeah, I mean, I try to listen. If you got to sit down with me and go, page, ask me questions about what is this, what is that, I'm happy to do it. I don't want you to feel rushed because again, I tell everybody that comes through here, I want this is only going to be done when you give it, your blessing, you're happy with it, it's perfect. It's what you wanted to say, language wise, and then then it's good to go. I want you to all my super comfortable with it. So with comfort comes understanding because it's an area that all of us unfortunately deal with. We'll all be an executor one day of somebody's estate, and we're all going to leave an estate behind. So unfortunately, the way nobody survives father time. That's just the way it goes. Even Tom Brady. So we've seen that. Um, so understand it, feel comfortable with it, and you know make it look and feel like it's their document, not somebody that typed it into Google, ChatGPT. Wrong with AI? I'm sure there's some of that in here. Listen, it's good stock. They're good stocks. I'm a fan. Hand to God. That's fine. It's like personalization.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So it just going in person, explaining things like again, just simplifying things. It's not about like you said also maybe giving like public presentations and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Stuff like
So,
that. Can you
yeah,
explain that?
absolutely. I've been giving seminars. That's one of the ways I like to give back the free educational seminars on this type of thing, so that even if you don't use me, you don't have to. I won't be offended. But you understand. You get it done. Most of the people that come are older, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, because of people are
Right, well, as we start to wrap up, how can our listeners find out more about you?
you can
Kohler Law Firm.
absolutely simple search into Google, Cohlerlaw.com, Cohler. We're not the toilet, unfortunately. One letter. I would have been on a private island with that golf club. I think that they have that beautiful, beautiful country club. So Cohler Law. Cohl. Don't even know how to spell my last name, Ler. um, and our phone number, which I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not gonna do that to you.
Awesome. Nice. The Cohlers. Awesome. Um, okay. Anything exciting coming up for the future, like that you want to share with us?
So I'm part of the Candy Association. It's just kind of a network for lawyers. We're going to be having so we're good. We along with giving back, that's how we do it. It's all for charity. We donate to local schools that are for children with mental disabilities. We donate to veterans. We donate to, every month I think we're in for the local cathedral kitchens and soup kitchens like that. So find a way to get involved with our association. We love sponsors. We love people that like giving back. Have a nice watch party at like a local restaurant. I think anybody can.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Nice. I feel like one of the things about lawyers I've learned is lawyers have to be very niche, have to be very specific, and those are the successful ones. That we do this exact thing on Earth, and that's what kind of, you know,
That's actually
makes
really
lawyers.
I know that. That's a good point. Is that lawyers are in couple related fields. Bigger law firms obviously have lawyers that do everything, but each lawyer that really does a couple things because you want to make sure that you are knowledgeable and adept at what you do, your specialty. So you don't see that many law firms that are kind of the whole gamut of do family law. I'm one attorney. I do family law, tax law, and criminal law. It's tough because it's really hard.
Right, right, exactly. I have one more question. How do you define success?
Wow.
Professional, personal, what does success look like for you?
Oh man, you dropping a bomb on me right now? Oh my God, Sandy. Um, so for a long, I mean, growing up, it's do I have all the money in the world? Do I have cars and the beach house? And obviously, we all kind of want those things. But as I'm kind of finding myself more and more in the profession, it was success. How giving back to my community is why I initially went into the public defender. I knew I wanted to help people, and I'm kind of finding that now in the bar association, and how I kind of make my relation. So I find that success is more internal in how do I have the pride in what I'm doing, rather than expensive things. And I don't. I promise you, I don't. Um, I that's kind of the biggie is do I have a good client base? I mean, I like to work with everybody. I like to make sure that it's a good fit. If it's not a good fit, then I'll find you the right person. I'm sociable, personable. On anybody, and I think that's how I define success. It's how good as a resource, how knowledgeable am I at what I practice? Are people content with the products that I give them? Was
That was wonderful. No, that
that?
was so nice. It's a wonderful life, you know? No, it was, no, it's nice. It's beautiful. Like, giving back to the community, it's not just about the money and dollars. It's about being knowledgeable. It's about, making a difference for those around you.
Right.
So
I feel like if personally I was, at the top, and everybody else is on the ground looking up.
wonderful. Awesome. That's great. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, and we're gonna wind down our podcast with some closing statements. So first of all, Adam, I want to say thank you, Adam Kohler of Cohler Law Firm. I want to thank you again, Adam Kohler of Cohler Law Firm, for joining us today. This was awesome. It was great talking to you. And guys, tune in next time. Digital Domination for Lawyers, and speak to you soon. Andy Mizrahi here now.